Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so we are going to show you how to make a U-Part wig in under 30 minutes on a sewing machine. Alright, so here's my guidelines, and as you can see, I did some half lines at the top because this is a side part, so it's not in the center, and you're going to be left with one whole side full of space more than the other side, so you have to fill that space in, but just draw the lines as you saw going in a curved motion as if you were to go like if you were to go all the way around, but you're not going to go around. So I'm sewing the first track on. Now, sidebar. This was first I made a U-Part wig, then I made a frontal wig, and now I'm making another U-Part wig. So you're gonna see a lot of choppy stuff, but I know how to push the tracks up against each other so it's seamless pretty much. All right, so that was the first track, yes, and this is sped up a little bit, but it did take me under 30 minutes to make this wig. So right now I am prepping the next track. So when you do a sewing machine wig, you want to at least have all, and if it's tracks, you want to have them lined out, and I pre-measure when I'm doing it. Yeah, my thread came out, unfortunately, so ha ha ha. But anyway, so I pre-measure my tracks and before I put them on the wig. So I actually put the dome cap on the mannequin head and I measure out each track and I line them in the row on the number of the track. That way I know exactly what fits what. But for some reason, this didn't quite fit and I was short a couple of tracks, but I ended up having more hair, so I just attached it. So when you're sewing on a dome cap, just remember, do not stretch, do not stretch, do not stretch. You will get lumps in your wig if you stretch it, okay? I don't know how else I can emphasize it. Do not stretch. I know it seems like a foreign thing to not stretch. Like, how are you going to make sure? Don't worry about it. Just it glides. The sewing machine literally does the work, as everybody says. I know in all these YouTube videos, the sewing machine does the work. So I am sewing on the next track, as you can see. So at the top, it gets a little tricky because if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have to go all the way around, but it's a little uneven, don't worry about it. Just fill the middle little holes, and then you can sew wherever you need. Just make sure you fill the gaps, all right, and you have it at least an inch apart, all right. But as you get to the top, of course, oh wait, here you go. So I'm taking that piece of track and I am pretty much tugging it under. I wish my hand was out the way. All right, there we go. I'm pushing it under the footer so that way it aligns and is seamless with the other track. All right, yeah, and I'm doubling it, not doubling it, I'm back stitching about 2 to 3 times because I just don't want any troubles. I don't want my tracks to come out, so I want to make sure that I'm double stitching as fast as I can. And as you can see, we got flat. Can't really even tell that I added an extra track there. All right, but for the most part, yeah, it's just, you want to also, as you, when you're sewing on a sewing machine and you're sewing a wig, at first for me it was like, well, how am I going to maintain the same size of the wig cap, because the wig cap was stretched on the mannequin head. Now it's not stretched when you're going to wig cap. Well, that is fine. However, it is still going to fit, just because I think it's also the closure. This is a U part, so it's not, there's no tension, and there's nothing that's going to make it tight around the edge because you're cutting it basically. So you pretty much, I mean, you've measured your head. Since I measured my head, I have to do it exactly precise. But if you're doing a usual U-part where you're sewing on the elastic band, I guess you can just, and that's probably better for clips. You can, yeah, regardless, you don't have to make sure everything is, you have to make sure it's accurate, but you have to make sure it's like completely accurate. I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry. I'm watching the video. Yeah, so we are sewing along, and I'm at this point, I'm starting to cup, and you see I'm just gliding it. You see all the ripples in the back. Don't worry about that. Just make sure what you see in the front is straight. Okay, just make sure you see what is in the front is straight. All right, and I am running out of hair, so now I have to go back and get some more hair because, yes, there we go. We're going to glide it, and this is a better angle of how I'm doing this. So luckily I have my nail, so my nail can actually help with the pushing. If I didn't have a nail, I'll use a tweezer or just something else that was pointy to push. Yep. So I'm lifting it because sometimes the thread gets a little jammed. So I don't want any troubles, which is kind of good when it gets jammed because that's my back stitch right there. But I want to make sure that everything's cool. All right, so we are going back again. And this is just pretty much showing you exactly sewing everything together, okay? And the closer you get up to the top, the more difficult it can get. All right, and difficult by when I mean difficult, I mean it starts to get a lot tighter, the wig. You have less room to at the top to really fidget with. You want to make sure you're not sewing any of the top part down. So you have to do it like a little hamburger. Hold the wig like a hamburger. Make sure you hold under the wig so there's no hair. The bottom hair is not stuck on the top, which is fine because you can always pull it out, but you don't want any of the mesh cap to get stuck to it either, because then you have to take everything out and start over again. Not the whole wig, but that's that track. All right, so we are just going and going. Yes, we are on a roll. And actually, I was watching Manifest while I was doing all of this. So Manifest has really kept me going. I don't know if you all have been watching Manifest. It's a Netflix show. It is really, really good. Some people like it. I guess some people don't, but they came out with another season. So apparently people are really digging it. So anyway, so now what I'm doing, we are at the top. I think this is the top. I believe this is the top. All right, we are now closing up the U part. So I do not again sew on elastic band, not because I'm against elastic band. It's just because that's not where my anchor braid is going to start. So I'm making sure I'm sewing along everything. I don't think this is the last one. I think the last one is coming up soon. Okay, so we just keep sewing along everything, and I'm making sure I'm aligning. I'm going above my guideline, not above, but on the guidelines. All right, because I don't want to see the white thread. So if you go on the guidelines, then you should be good to go. All right, and we are coming to the end, and you can see that I have like a line. So I do this all in the mirror, okay? Because if you saw one of my first videos, and I'm not going to show you installing it on this video just because I have 2 other videos and one that's very detailed. So you can watch those videos. Please watch those videos. Yay. All right. But as you can see, because with the U part, yeah, I'm going along my anchor braid, okay? And I'm not sewing on the elastic band, which I used to sew on the elastic band, and it gave me just hell because it was an extra layer of material. So now I'm like, not sewing that on. And it lays so much flatter, a lot flatter, okay, when you don't do that, all right? So here is the final. This one is in real time. So I am sewing, and you can see I have a whole bunch of guidelines going on over there. I'm sewing. This is the last track, which I am making sure that is a full track that completely goes around the top of the U part, which I would say that is, which the anchor braids is going to be sewn onto the anchor braids. This is the money part right here. So I want to make sure this is super, super flat, super, super thin, super secured, because I don't want anything jumping out at me. And you go around slowly. This, take your time. There's no need to rush. I'm making sure, because it's such a sharp curve, that I have to take it around and twist the wig. All right, make the wig, move the wig around. Okay, don't be afraid to move the wig around. It moves, okay? It moves. And you don't want to be stuck in one place and then you have just a hot mess. All right, so we are sewing around, and I'm so happy. Oh my God, sidebar. So I found hair that I had left over that was the same length from the same company. Oh my goodness, because I ran out of hair. Because as you know, I was using a frontal before, so I didn't have, my tracks were shorter, my wefts were shorter. So this time I'm doing a whole U part, which is a closure, and I need more tracks. Oh my God, I found some tracks. I was so excited. Yes. But it was weird because this vendor now, I think some of their tracks are a lot thicker. So I'm just gonna have to talk to them about that. But I guess that's a good thing. But some people want thin wigs or more natural looking wigs and not as full. Anyway, so I am finished. Yes, we are done. Look at this wig. Flat. Absolutely. Check it out. All right, so that's all my leave out right there, and I'm gonna cut all that off. Hey, all right, so as you can see, I braided everything up. I did a anchor braid all the way around. I hope you can see. I hope you can see. And I'm actually gonna wash my hair out because I had some like oil in it, and it's a little bit greasy, so it's not gonna lay and flow right if I don't wash it out. So I'm gonna wash that out and blow dry it. So we will be ready. And then I think I'm gonna do this tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't want to sew it in tonight. I think I want to sew it in tomorrow morning, and we'll see. But alright, so this is how much leave out I left out over here, because most of the hair will be in here anyway, but just in case the wind blows, that my edges, you know, will be seen. And plus I want to also preserve my edges, so I don't want to like put too much pressure and tension on them. Alright, so thank you. I know I look crazy. Hopefully that I can find a filter to put over this so I don't look so crazy. Alright, here we go. This is what it is when I cut everything. I literally cut it like a mold of my head. Okay, so I cut the edges in the back. I wish my light was on. I'm so sorry. It kind of broke on me and I was just getting frustrated. So I cut around all the ear. So it's not like a whole U-part. It's pretty much going it's fitting around my perimeter. Okay, so here is the final results. Yes, it's early in the morning, so I'm about to get ready. But I put flexi rods in about 6 last night. But what I had to do is just a little bit put some I'm gonna put some edge control here, but I did have to press this out again because of course you know when you put the flexi rods in, it's gonna leave a dent. So what I'm gonna do is just pin curl it, just my leave out at night. But as you can see, my hair blends in nicely. And it pretty much looks natural. This is the top. Yeah, and I have my leave out all here. So I just sewed around the perimeter because I like to have my wig on tight, especially when it's a U-Part wig. I don't want to take it on and take it off because as you saw, I cut it custom. I customize it, so I start from here. I cut around that big band. I take that big band out, which makes a huge difference so it's not lumpy at the top. So, and I just sew it on and everything is measured. And as you saw, I had 2 little white spots on my forehead. Yeah, that was so I could measure exactly where the cap was going and where the leave out was going to be, so I could make sure everything was measured properly. So this is the hair. This is our raw Indian hair, which I've had for years now, and I've made like 3 different wigs out of this. Next time I'm going to color it, alright? But here you are, and I'll take another picture and check out my Instagram so you can see me look all dolled up with this hair, alright? Later.